Car 14, mile 31 north on Hudson Boulevard. Stopping speeding station wagon answering description. Occupants, Emily and Winifred Higgins. Released after warning.
Car 9, nothing to report. Going south on Expressway.
Car 7 reporting from River and Main. Park station wagon. Answering description examined. Owner objected to search, but identity verified as barber shop proprietor. No connection to assault.
We've had 30 reports on station wagons answering that description. We're going to have 130 for the night's over.
Which means we don't have a very good description of the car.
Well, at least you got a description of the guy.
Yeah, Calvin gave us a description. He's, what, 165 pounds approximately? Dark brown hair, kind of wiry.
Unfortunately, it was too dark for him to give us much more about the man.
Yeah, it was too dark for Calvin to see the guy coming from behind him, getting ready to slug him.
Well, it doesn't seem to have slowed Mr. Stoner down at all.
Calvin, what are you doing out of bed?
Against orders, Calvin. Doctor's orders.
What are you trying to do, bite the bullet?
Look, I just cannot lie down in that infirmary any longer. I mean, my head just hurts more every time I think of Deborah out there with that man.
Now, what good do you think you're going to do up here?
I don't know, but I have to be here, that's all.
Sure, Calvin, sure. The more the merrier.
Merrier? Hell, it looks like a wake.
Chief, you may want to hear this one again. Car 11, repeat message, please.
Station wagon answering description seen leaving Expressway turning right on Lincoln Woods Road. Knocked over mailbox. Woman complainant called in description of driver. Dark, well-dressed. License number first 3 numbers only. 684.
What do you think?
Let us check it out.
Let's go. Do it.
Well, here we are, baby. I told you it wouldn't take too long. What's the matter, honey? Trying to tell me something? Don't worry, I'll take off that gag. How else am I gonna kiss that pretty little mouth of yours? Go ahead, scream if you want to. Nobody around to hear you for miles. As a matter of fact, I kind of like it when you do yell.
I feel sick.
Well, you had a bumpy ride. Boy, did you hear that thump when I knocked into that mailbox? Some old lady came running out of the house like I just knocked over the baby carriage.
Sick. I have a fever.
I got one too, Red. For you.
No.
You're pretty strong for someone who's sick.
No. Stop it. I'm a police officer.
I know. Your friend showed me your badge.
What did you do with him?
I kissed him goodnight with this.
I didn't hear a shot.
I just said I kissed him. Behind the pet. Like this. Don't make me do that to you, Red.
Please don't.
I like my women conscious.
Don't do this. Don't touch me. You're gonna be sorry.
Why, because you're a cop? Honey, that makes it double the pleasure.
Calvin wasn't the only cop there, you know. There were 6 or 7 other detectives in that park staked out waiting for you.
For me? What for?
They're after you, man. For assaulting those other women. They know all about you. They're following you right now.
You got it all wrong, Red. There's only one woman I care about. And I care about you a lot.
Don't, please, don't. I'm sick. I'm infectious.
You what?
Look at me. Real good. Do I really look that good to you?
You do look kind of washed out, but it'll
Feel
pump
me.
you right. What?
Feel my forehead. Come on, feel it.
I don't know. What do I know about that?
It's a fever, man. It's a fever. You better know about it. Or you won't have long for this world.
You do look kind of sick. What's the matter with you?
They don't know. But it's deadly. Look at me. Look at my eyes. Can't you tell?
Yeah, well, they do look kind of bloodshot, all right.
They put me in a hospital. In the isolation ward. Where all the doctors and nurses have to wear masks. They wouldn't even touch me without gloves. Feel me. See?
Well, if you're so sick, what were you doing out there?
I couldn't give in to it. But I feel like I'm getting worse. I feel like I'm gonna die if I don't get to a hospital soon. Please. Please. Well, if I do die, please don't take you with me.
You ain't taking me nowhere.
No, don't. No, stop it, please. Please, I'm sick. Don't you understand?
Shut up.
Help! Help!
You stay here on your own, baby. And rot.
Hello? Yes, it is. Who's that?
Who is it, Nancy?
Just a minute, please. It's for me. I'm sorry. Hello? Well, yes, I suppose it'll have to be. Well, I'm usually there about 9 o'clock, 9:15 the latest. I think I can manage to be there at that time. Where do you want to meet? I think I can remember that. Now, how will I know you? Oh. All right, then. Thanks very much. See you tomorrow. All right, goodbye. Oh, sorry, honey. It's somebody I have to see for the newspaper tomorrow. I'm sorry it woke you up.
Somebody you have to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be your friendly neighborhood pusher, would it?
Oh, how do you know I never take anything stronger than aspirin?
You know what I'm talking about. That feature article you're doing for the news. That was your contact, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Steve Guthrie is helping me, Mike. He said that he knew somebody who could get the word out.
So the word got through to our caller, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
If I heard correctly, he didn't give you his name.
Nope.
And despite that, you're still willing to meet this guy, a complete stranger, with a criminal record, probably in some out-of-the-way place.
Sweetheart, he knows I'm perfectly harmless.
But is he?
Sweetheart, I told you, I'm not going to take any risks. Steve Guthrie told this man who I am and what I'm after, and that I have absolutely no connection with the police.
Are you sure your connection knows that?
Well, I don't think he would have called if he didn't. And if he has an ounce of brains, which I'm sure he has, he would have checked to see who Nancy Carr is before he made the call.
Well, you may be giving him too much credit. He might think you're just another customer.
When I see the man tomorrow, I'll just tell him what I have on my mind.
A full confession. Exactly what the police would have in mind if they talk to this guy.
Honey, it's for a newspaper story.
Are you sure that he'll appreciate that difference? A confession is a confession. This guy could wind up behind bars. You know, tomorrow, I think I'm going to talk to Bill Marcel and ask him...
Oh,
Force of habit, I guess. Well, I'll talk to Chief Mallory and ask him to provide you with police protection.
You do that, and that'll be the end of everything. If they're seen there.
They could take care of you without being seen.
Oh, darling, please don't worry so much. I'm not meeting him at an out-of-the-way place. It's a bar on Commodore Avenue.
What's the name of the bar? Nancy?
Well, I just have a sneaking suspicion that if I tell you where it is, I won't be the only one there.
Well, you can't blame me for worrying. Darling, if anything happened to you...
Sweetheart, you have taken far greater risks than this.
Yes, but you're a...
Oh, what? A defenseless woman?
I was going to say, you're my wife. And I love you, and I need you. And I don't like the idea of your taking any kind of a chance, whether it's crossing the street against a red light or meeting a pusher in some bar.
Well, if you promise not to interfere, I will tell you. No, you have to promise.
All right.
Okay, it's a place called Terry's, and it's on Commodore Avenue between 8th and 9th. Do you know it? Well, anyway, I plan to get there well ahead of our appointment to get a table right up front where it's safe. And I'm not going to say or do anything to make the man upset. Now, that's my promise to you.
Well, I don't suppose he'll be anxious for any trouble, especially knowing that you're a reporter.
Well, he doesn't know that exactly.
I thought you just told me that he knows what you want.
Honey, I wasn't sure anybody would be interested in doing what I wanted to do if they knew that, so, well, for the time being, I'm looking for merchandise.
So he does think that you're a customer?
Yes, for now, he does. Tomorrow, I'll tell him the truth. Oh, honey, please, let's get some sleep.
I think I'm going to take my promise back.
Don't you dare! Oh, sweetheart, please don't worry so much. I love you.
I think you're crazy. You should be flat on your back letting that cracked skull of yours heal.
Yeah, well, I'm doing this for your sake, you know. I figured you'd be cracking up by now.
That's right, I know. Every time I think about Deborah and what might be happening to her, I get shivers inside my body so much I can't stop shaking.
Yeah, look pretty shaky to me right now.
Yeah, well, I can't stop thinking about Deborah. I hope this tip we got's good. I hope we're not going in the wrong direction.
You know, Steve, there's one other thing that's been just on my mind. I just can't stop thinking that if it hadn't been for me, this maniac wouldn't have his hands on Deborah.
Would you knock it off? Would you just knock it off? I don't want any guilt trip from you. You got slugged from behind.
Yeah, but look, I am no rookie. I mean, I should never have let a thing like that get by me.
Damn right, you shouldn't have. I think your brain could suffer too many blows to the head. Come on, man. Just knock off the jazz about all the guilt. Let's just concentrate on finding Deborah. And soon. Please, God. Soon.
I want you to call the police barracks at Fieldmore. Tell them everything we know about this.
5 cc.
Damn it, I don't care if you have to call out the Marines. Listen, I'm not just talking about a civilian abduction.
Tell me exactly when.
I'm talking about a police officer in the hands of a homicidal maniac.
All right. Start the IV.
And if it makes your blood get stirred up even more, this officer happens to be a woman.
20 per hour.
Well, I just thought that might get...
Yeah.
All right. I'll be waiting.
What about Dr. Weiss? You at the hospital? No. Better not wait. I'll come there and see what I can do. Say about 20 minutes. Right. Ready, gotta go.
It's okay. There's not much happening here.
Something happening at the hospital, unfortunately. A patient of mine is relapsing. I'll try to stay in touch here.
Call anytime. Just don't expect good news.
Well, I'm not going to expect bad either.
You're an optimist, Doctor. Quickest way to the parking lot is through that door.
Thanks.
Okay.
Anything more from cars 3 and 9?
No, sir. They're still headed out for the Lincoln Woods Road. Oh, but here's something that might interest you. Officer Wexler reported a woman complainant in Monticello Park. Says a man attacked her right around the spot where the other 3 assaults took place.
4 if you count Saxon. But this one seems to have gotten away, huh?
Could be another guy.
It looks like it. There's more than one nut in this town. All right, keep me posted. I'm going back to my office.
Right.
Oh, Contact Guthrie and Stoner. Tell them that new information we have on the license plate number.
Will do. Control card, number 3.
Control card and number 3, come in.
Car 3.
Guthrie, message from Chief Mallory.
Yeah, good or bad news?
Good. Lieutenant Sven Galley went to work on that guy who spotted the station wagon right after Detective Saxon's disappearance. Yeah, he hypnotized him into remembering some of the license numbers.
Well, if you've got the numbers, how come there's not an APB on it?
Relax. Svensson only got 3 numbers out of the guy, and they weren't in the same order as the numbers we have. But we thought it was encouraging.
So the station wagon we're looking for could be the one?
That's the message. Good or bad?
Yeah, well, it all depends on whether we find it.
Yeah, and how soon?
10-4.
I can assure you, Commissioner, though we have every available man and vehicle on this case, we're not depleting the resources of the department. No, I don't want to be accused of dropping everything for one missing officer either. But believe me, if I could, that's exactly what I'd do. You're damn right I value her. She's a cop, isn't she? Come on in.
Oh, excuse me. They told me Miles was in here.
Commissioner, look, I've got somebody in front of me. If that's all you wanted to know. Okay. Okay. Miles was here, but he's left.
Okay, good. Well, listen, I know you're very busy, Derek.
No, Nicole, please. Please don't go. If I don't take a break for 2 minutes, I'm going to start walking into walls. You know what's been happening.
Of course I know what's been happening. That's why I'm here. It's official business for WMOM.
You won't get much of a story in this department. We know very little.
No, thank you. I've got my story. I talked to Lieutenant Swenson.
Lieutenant Swenson. He uses hypnotism to try to get witnesses to remember more than they think they do. All the guys call him Lieutenant Sven Galley.
He told me that you're pretty sure you've got the station wagon spotted.
Well, we think we have it identified. Spotting it's another matter.
Well, at least you know that this is the car that the assailant is using.
Yes, if he is the assailant.
What?
Something peculiar just happened. I got this. It seems as if there's another woman who's been attacked in Monticello Park this evening. She's all right, but the description of her assailant doesn't match the one Calvin gave, but it does match the description the other 3 women gave.
You mean that there's more than one?
Apparently so. Doesn't matter, though. The only thing that matters is getting Saxon back alive, if possible.
You really do care about her, don't you?
Of course I care about her. She's one of my officers.
No. That's not what I mean. I mean, you care about her as a person, don't you? You're not nearly as cold-blooded as you want people to think you are. I realized that about you the first time I met you.
Feminine intuition, huh?
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with being female.
I think it does. Especially when you're as female as you are.
You know, coming from you, I don't even know if I should take that as a compliment.
Just take it as a fact.
What about this man in the park? I mean, if he is the one that Deborah was after originally, who is this abductor?
Your guess is as good as mine, Nicole.
Listen, man, you didn't tell me this chick was sick. I mean, sick, man. Like she had leprosy or TB or something like that. You could just tell by looking at her. I mean, this is the chick you wanted me to play house with, man. I would have wound up in an oxygen tank.
She was faking it, man. What's the matter with you?
You don't fake a fever, man. She was burning up. I could tell.
Yeah, maybe she loved you, Phil.
Look, she was sick as a dog, man, and you better tell your friend that in case she gives you a problem about the fee.
Hey, what fee? Look, I'd put you on to a good thing, man.
No jokes, Benny. I did this job for one big one, and I want my money tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, look, she's gonna call me in a minute. I'll let you know. And look, all you wanted to do was scare the lady, right? Okay, so you got what you wanted. I think it was worth $1,000.
Young man, you promised me a good deal more than that. You said your friend would, well, you know, that he would violate that cheap little tart. Teach her a lesson.
Look, you don't understand. She was sick. I mean, she has some kind of disease or something.
Nonsense. She isn't sick at all. She fooled him. You should have done this yourself instead of getting your friend.
Look, lady, I couldn't do it myself. Saxon knows me. Look, I ain't getting a penny out of this deal myself. My friend gets the whole grand. All I wanted was the satisfaction.
Well, I don't know that I'm satisfied. Where is she now?
He dumped her.
He did what?
He dumped her. In the woods. Hey, maybe she'll never get back.
You fool! We wanted to scare her, not kill her.
Hey, look, lady, this whole thing wasn't my idea.
If she dies, it'll be murder. Don't you realize that?
Murder?
You're not sick, you're crazy, you know that? You should spend the night in the hospital just in case you get any more of these dizzy spells.
They didn't ask me to stay, Steve. Besides, it's not polite to ask to stay yourself.
Polite. You tell me who the guy is who gave you the examination, I'll give you polite. Well,
He told me there was nothing wrong with me. He just said I was a little run down, that I needed to eat more, and that I should take better care of myself.
and get a little more rest.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Since that's all I've been doing since Chief Mallory suspended me.
What about this doctor? I bet he was young, right?
Yeah.
Right out of medical school.
He was young, so what?
What about Miles? I thought you had an examination with Miles today.
It wasn't definite. I told him that I'd come down and see him when I... Look, Steve, please stop nagging me. I'm not in the mood for this. I'm too tired.
You were going to say when you had some free time, right? You got all the free time in the world.
I don't like going to see doctors. Besides, I was fine. They didn't have to call a damn ambulance. I was feeling all right. My super just panicked.
Well, I'm glad he panicked. I think he did the right thing.
Steve, I was fine by the time they got there. I could have walked into the ambulance myself. They insisted on carrying me.
Deborah, did you tell this young doctor about your first fainting spell?
I don't know, maybe. I don't remember.
What do you mean you don't remember?
Steve, will you please stop picking on me?
No. So here you are.
What is this, my coming out party?
How are you doing, Red?
I'm fine. I'd feel a lot better if our friend here would stop worrying about me so much.
Well, I have got some news for you, my dear, that is going to make you feel even better than that.
What's that?
Your suspension's been lifted.
What?
That's right. Deborah can go back to work anytime she wants to. The chief just reinstated her.
Calvin, you are the best medicine I have ever had. How did you find out about
The
this?
chief told me himself. I mean, I went over to, ask for some time off for the honeymoon.
Well,
you know?
what did he say about that?
Hey, listen, there was no problem, man. I mean, he didn't even raise one of those bushy eyebrows of his. He must have been feeling in an awfully good mood today.
I wonder why.
Well, for one thing, the grand jury handed down that indictment on that guy you arrested, that Earl Stokes. Congratulations. I mean, and that was the first big indictment he's gotten since he took the job. You know?
Yeah, right. It was Deborah's job. She did all the work on the
Well,
case.
he's given her credit for it. I mean, that's the reason he decided to lift the suspension.
You mean I can go back to work anytime I want, right now if I wanted to?
Absolutely, it is official.
Hold it. Wait a minute. The only place Deborah should go right now is to bed.
Yeah, what happened to you anyway? I mean, I heard you in the hospital. I got real worried.
How'd you find out about that?
Well, I went by your place,
Oh,
and...
yeah, my super. He's probably bragging to you how he saved my life, right?
Almost. But I called over to find out what your condition was. They told me you weren't even registered as a patient, and then I talked to some guy who said that you were down in emergency, but that you were doing okay.
All right, there you see, Steve. At least there's somebody around here who isn't pessimistic.
Well, excuse me, I'm sorry. Sorry for being so silly. Why, anybody can look at you and see that you're just a picture of health, right, Calvin?
Well, you do look a little washed out there.
Well, I didn't have a chance to put any makeup on. I didn't think to bring my purse with me.
Well, let me see. I'm trained
Oh.
for this. Are you, sure you're feeling good enough to leave here?
I'm fine. All I've got to do is walk out the door.
See what I mean?
I'm all right. I'm just going to go home and get some rest. That's all. And I'll be able to go back to work in the morning. I will.
Yeah, look, I'll go outside and see if I can rustle up a wheelchair or something.
Don't look at me like that, Steve. Come on. I'm going to be fine. I'm just a little weak. You know, I mean, you'd feel weak, too, if you had a doctor poking and prodding around on you.
Sure.
I'll tell you what, if I don't feel better in the morning, I won't go to work, okay?
Is that a promise?
Yeah.
Okay. Makes me feel a little better. I just want you to be all right. You mean a lot to me. Why, you're the only lady detective we have on the force.
Something tells me that Calvin's not going to find that wheelchair.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Here, I got a better idea.
What you didn't know?
Oh, yeah, my car is right outside. Open that door, we'll sneak right out of here.
Come as a surprise to District Attorney Logan Swift. He predicted that the evidence against Earl Stokes was so conclusive that the jury wouldn't hesitate to hand down an indictment of first-degree murder. Stokes was arrested on the night of October 16th by police detective Deborah Saxon, who was called in to investigate the shooting death of his one-time girlfriend, Angela Cortez. At first, the residents of the apartment house at 1805 Riverside denied hearing or seeing anything. But Detective Saxon was persistent, and her persistence paid off, as one by one, each person stepped forward to testify. The time of the shooting was pinpointed. The time coincided with the time that Stokes was seen leaving the apartment building by several passers-by. No trial date has been set. In other news, the special prosecutor appointed by the mayor to investigate the municipal hospital scandal has submitted his first recommendation to City Hall.
Good evening.
Hey.
Mind if I come in for a minute?
Sure, come on in. But you're a little late.
Yeah?
Had a couple of beautiful blondes a minute ago, but they just left.
What a shame. I didn't even get to see him in the elevator or anything.
I heard your name mentioned on the local news show about the Stokes indictment.
Well, coincidences never cease. That's the very reason I came by this evening.
I'm telling you, you have a trial date already.
Better than that. I got a full confession.
You're not serious.
I am indeed. That's the effect that I hoped the indictment would have. You saw the handwriting on the wall.
On his cell wall, you mean? Why don't you sit down?
Okay, for a minute. I think he's hoping that the judge will be lenient with him if he comes clean. See, there's been no plea bargain here. It's still murder one.
Oh, that is good news. And you managed to save the city a couple of bucks, too.
I wish all my cases were this easy. Unfortunately...
Tell you what I like about this case.
What's that?
There's a nice, clean ending. I like things with definite endings, don't you?
When they're in my favor, yes, I do.
One drink?
Wouldn't say no to a beer.
All right. Unfortunately, some people I know don't share my feelings for those clean endings.
Yeah?
A good example of that today.
Where's that?
At the office, I was going through the day's mail. I came across a letter from my ex-wife.
Oh.
Seems like she's tired of all that Riviera sunshine.
Thank you.
She's in the mood for a colder climate.
Really?
So she's coming to Monticello. It's Christmas. That's what she blames it on. She says she can't see spending Christmas on the Riviera.
Doesn't sound so bad to me.
Well, she spent all her childhood Christmases on a farm up in Vermont. You know, picture postcard stuff. Just not Christmas without snow on the ground or sleigh rides or a Christmas tree cut from the woods out and back.
Well, it doesn't sound so bad either, but she's not going to find that around Monticello. Besides, where's she going to stay? Oh, sorry, I asked.
That is a question, isn't it?
Where's her family?
Washington, I suppose. Her dad's still active in politics, even though he's retired from the Senate.
What exactly does an ex-senator do?
I don't know, but whatever it is, Senator spends all his time doing it.
Hmm?
Well, I don't think they get along too well. She doesn't spend any time in Washington. She's usually getting on a plane going to one continent or another. Not a bad life.
For some people.
Of course, I know why she's coming here.
Hmm? Not Christmas, huh?
It's because she found out about me, Logan, about my new job. We haven't been in touch for the past 5 months. I think she got a letter from her father. Probably told her about my appointment as chief of police here.
Think that impressed her?
Well, she always complained that I wasn't moving along fast enough to suit her. So maybe she thinks I've improved, wants to see for herself.
Ah. How do you feel about that?
Wasn't looking forward to spending Christmas alone, but I'd rather spend it alone than spend it with Ivy.
Give you a little note for It's a Small World book of coincidences. I know somebody pretty well who knows your ex-wife pretty well.
Really? Who?
Geraldine Saxon. She's an old friend of the Townsend family.
Of course. There probably aren't too many people in Washington Geraldine Saxon doesn't know.
Yeah, says she knew Ivy, is it, since she was yay tall?
Huh?
Seems to think that she is a pretty nice person.
It's no surprise. Most people feel that way.
It's strange, isn't it, Mike? I must have changed my will a half a dozen times.
Well, you've made only 2 major revisions, Geraldine. The rest have been changes of beneficiary, a codicil here and there.
There's a lot of history written in those changes, isn't there? When I think of all of the people who were my beneficiaries, who have gone before me, oh, my money meant nothing to them, of course. They were all very well taken care of in their own right. But still, it seems somehow unfair that I should still be here, sitting here in my lawyer's office, making yet another change.
Your last beneficiary was Kevin, of course.
Yes. My adopted Kevin. Well, there's no reason to sit here and brood about the past or those people who have gone. You can miss them and mourn them, but you can't bring them back.
Better to be concerned about the living. And obviously that's why you came to see me.
Yes, Mike, it is.
You're going to name a new beneficiary.
That's right. The truth is, I'm almost afraid to name him for fear it might, well, prove bad luck for him.
I don't believe that for a moment. And I'm sure you don't either.
No, of course I don't. I'm just very gratified that I have someone to name as beneficiary. Someone I care about. It's Logan's child. I'm sure you must have gathered that by now, Mike.
Yes. Something told me it was going to be your grandson.
That's right. My grandson. Jamie Swift. Mike, my charity bequests will remain the same. But Jamie will be my principal beneficiary.
With Logan Swift as executor?
Exactly. But you must make absolutely certain that his mother doesn't... I'm sure there's no reason for me to worry about that. Raven has her own fortune. I can't see her depriving her son of his.
You needn't worry. We'll construct the will in such a way so that no one can deprive Jamie of his inheritance.
You know, Mike, Logan has given me a wonderful opportunity. Oh, not just to be a doting grandmother, but to be something even closer than that to this child.
It's meant a great deal to you, hasn't it?
At the moment, it's the only important thing in my rather dull life.
I doubt if your life could ever be dull. Didn't you just go back to Washington, probably to make absolutely certain that your candidate will be nominated as president next year?
I'm afraid I lost my power base a long time ago, Mike. No, my visit was social, not political. As a matter of fact, I have the vague suspicion that some of my old friends there are beginning to think of me as that boring old lady.
Impossible. Anyway, your real old friends are here in Monticello, including a couple named the Carrs who haven't seen you for quite a while.
Well, I'm going to do something about that as soon as I finish my babysitting chores.
Well, I suppose you do those quite often.
Well, Mike, I try to get Logan out of the house as much as possible. He's coming out of his days very slowly.
No wonder. He took quite a few blows in that battle with Raven.
Well, it's time he forgot about her and began providing Jamie with something more than a boring old lady. It's time he found that child a new mother.
I'll need at least another 20 or 30 of the red ones. What do you call them?
Oh, I just call them the red ones, lady. Never you mind the fancy names. And what else do you want?
Well, I'll need some more blue pills, too. About 50, if you can get them. Is that possible?
Yeah, anything's possible as long as you got the cash.
You need more about that. Well, let's see now. I plan to be home in about an hour. Can you be there then?
Sorry, Grandma. Listen, you'll have to meet me someplace else this time. I don't like doing business on your floor.
But why not?
Because you got a very nosy neighbor, you know. The fox who lives across the hall from you is a cop.
Oh, well, dear, it's so difficult for me to get around.
I'm sorry, just the same. I'm not doing any more business on your floor. Not next to Detective Saxon. You know, she's already laid one rap on me to rap her a few times myself.
You sound like you don't care for her.
Are you kidding? I'd like to give that nosy redhead detective cop something she'd never forget. I hope you ain't friendly with her, lady, you know, because if you are, we can forget about doing business anyplace.
Oh, no, I'm not friendly with her. I really don't care for her myself.
Oh, yeah? What's your complaint?
Well, I don't like the type. Cheap little tarts. Think they're better than everybody else.
Well, maybe we got more in common than I thought, Miss Corey.
Yes, maybe we do. Oh, dear, I have to go now. But I'll try to come by the store later this evening for the merchandise. Bye now, Benny. Elliot!
Good evening, Nola. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm fine, thank you.
You look a bit flushed. I hope it's with excitement.
Well, I'm always glad to see you. You know that. Even when it's unexpected.
I decided to return your scrapbook. It was very kind of you to lend it to me.
I really don't know why you wanted to borrow the silly old thing in the first place.
Oh, I wanted to look at all those lovely pictures. You know, you were even lovelier now than you were then.
You're a born flatterer, Elliot. And I love it, of course, but don't think you fool me for 1 minute. Would you like a drink?
Oh, let me fix it. You know, I don't know why I cannot convince you of the way I feel. How you appear to my eyes. You know, maybe it's because I've traveled so much, seen so many women in so many different countries.
And no doubt flattered them in 6 different languages.
You know, in Europe they appreciate maturity in women much more than in this country. And since I was born and raised there, perhaps that's why I feel the way I do.
And what way is that?
I just don't find younger women as appealing.
Yes. Isn't there any chance that you and Margot might reconcile?
No, I'm sorry. Even if Margot came to me on those proverbial bended knees, there's no way I'll go back to that gilded cage, Nola, no way.
But if you cared for her so much...
Now, whatever feeling I had for Margot is gone. Of course, I have another reason for feeling that way now.
Reason?
I'm afraid to say it. You might just say again that you flattered but not fooled. And I'd rather not hear that twice in one evening.
Elliot, are you trying to tell me that your altered feelings for your wife have something to do with me?
Oh, no. I don't say that if I had been still with Margot that this would have happened. As old-fashioned as it may sound, I still believe in marital fidelity. That probably shocks you, doesn't it?
You're right, it does. Imagine anyone having a good word for fidelity in this day and age.
Well, I still believe in it. That's why I can't particularly say that I like or respect your husband. I'm sorry, I think I'm really going too far now.
You really are serious. Or are you? You're just showing me how well you've progressed as an actor.
You turn everything into a joke, don't you, Nora?
Life is a joke, Elliot.
Life may be. But love isn't.
Love?
God, what am I doing? I promised myself that I would keep this as light as possible between us. For as long as I could.
Tell me what you mean.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. At least not until I knew... No, can't ask you that.
Ask me what?
Damn it, I don't have the right to ask you a personal question.
What question, Elliot?
About how you feel towards Owen.
Owen and I are separated, you know that. And I don't mean just separated by distance.
Yeah. That doesn't really answer the question, does it? About your feelings towards him. If that torch is still burning bright, so bright that you cannot see anyone else, no matter how close they may be.
No, it's the wrong door. This one.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you could have put me down. I could have walked from the car.
Oh, no, I need the exercise. Yes, sir. Thank God it's only 7 flights up.
Have you fixed my lock?
Oh, yes. Wonderful. Well, here we are. We're about to cross the threshold. No obligation. Oh. Oh, let's see. Where are we going to wait? Hold it. Here we are.
Oh. Steve? Come on up here.
I need this.
Miss Saxon! Miss Saxon!
Yes, Mr. Bailey.
Can I come in for a minute?
Why not?
Hello, officer.
Hello, Bailey.
Mr. Bailey, I want to thank you for what you did earlier this evening. I mean, you didn't really have to call an ambulance. You know, I was perfectly all right.
Well, you know, I didn't want to take any chances. Oh, this is for you.
What is it?
What's this, the welcome wagon? Oh, look, food.
Well, Mr. Bailey, you didn't have to do all this, but thank you.
Oh, well, I didn't. I mean, it was her, your next-door neighbor, Mrs. Corey. She sent it up to my apartment with a note saying that it was for you in case you didn't feel like cooking for a couple of days.
Oh, that is so thoughtful. I can't... Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah, that's nice to have good neighbors.
You see, I told you there was nothing to worry about.
I realize that this proposal will mean an increase in departmental expenses, but I feel the long-term results will justify it. Videotape has become an important adjunct to every police facility. And videotape instruction should be mandatory in recording of evidence, identifying suspects, and so forth. Should be a part of routine police procedure.
Excuse me, Chief. They told me you wanted to see me when I got off.
You've been playing out in the backyard again, Guthrie. Yeah, come on in. You know how to wrap up that kind of letter. Have it on my desk for signing, then you can go home. What happened to you?
Well, sorry about the way I look. I was investigating a fire over on Maple Street. I saw a suspicious-looking character hanging around. I ordered him to stop, identified myself. He didn't, so I tackled him. We kind of rolled around. I got a little messy.
You managed to bring him in.
Yeah, I booked him for assaulting an officer. Maybe I'll get more after we interrogate him. What do you want to see me about?
It can wait after you clean up. I just had a few questions on the Simpson case.
All right, I'll be back in a half hour.
Okay.
Oh, listen, Chief. I wanted to thank you for taking Deborah off suspension.
He didn't do it to please you, Guthrie.
Yeah, well, I know that. I guess what I wanted to say was, well, Deborah hasn't been feeling too well the last couple of days. I think maybe she should wait a while before she goes back on active duty.
Well, she's already back.
Really?
She came in on the 12 o'clock shift. As a matter of fact, she's out on assignment right now with Calvin Stoner.
Well, that was fast. What's the assignment?
Well, it's a decoy routine. For the past 3 nights, there have been brutal assaults on women in Monticello Park. As a matter of fact, one of the women died as a result of her injuries this morning.
Wait a minute, you mean she's on that park assignment?
Well, she asked for this assignment, Guthrie. No, she didn't say anything about not feeling well. As a matter of fact, she said it felt very good to be back.
Well, I happen to know she's not feeling very well. As a matter of fact, she passed out twice in the last couple of days, didn't she tell you?
No.
Well, she did. I found her in her apartment on the floor, passed out. Her superintendent found her yesterday afternoon. Same condition. He called an ambulance, had her rushed her to the emergency room.
Damn it, why doesn't she tell me these things? The last thing I want to do is send an officer out on a job he can't handle.
Don't you mean she?
Believe me, that's why I was glad she accepted this assignment, because she was the right sex.
Chief, we have a half dozen women in this department who can handle that job.
This assailant apparently likes them young and attractive, Guthrie. Now, I think even you'll have to agree that Detective Saxon fits that description a little bit better than most people in this department.
Yes, I do, but right now I happen to know she's not feeling very well.
Well, apparently she didn't seem to think so. She knew this assignment was voluntary, and she accepted it. That's all there is to it.
Well, I don't agree. I think you should call her off.
You do, huh?
Yes, I do. I think somebody should go down there and pull her out of the park. If you'd like, I'll go down there myself.
What I want, Guthrie, is for you to get downstairs, get cleaned up, and get your tail back in here as fast as possible so we can go over the Simpson case, so I can get out to the prosecutors.
Wait a minute. Aren't you listening to me? Deborah is in no condition to handle a sex maniac.
She is a police officer, Guthrie, and she has good backup in Calvin Stoner.
Well, Calvin knows better. He knows she's sick. He was at the hospital yesterday.
Calvin didn't even know it was going to be Saxon until she got there. Besides, it doesn't matter. Do you understand? She took this assignment, and that's all there is to it. Helen, is that letter ready?
If you won't call her off, I will.
Guthrie! If you bust up that stake up, you'll be the next one on suspension, and I don't mean just for 2 weeks. I might even lift your detective's badge for good.
You're not gonna catch a maniac with a sick woman.
I hope you heard what I said, Guthrie, because I meant it. Now get downstairs and take your shower. Maybe it'll cool you off.
Red?
Calvin, what are you doing here?
Look, I don't see anybody around. I gotta talk to you, Deborah.
We are on a job, you know. This is no time for a chat.
You were not being straight with me when you told me that you were feeling 100%. I can look at you. I can see you're still feeling sick, aren't you?
Look, I feel fine. Just bored, that's all. Been here for 2 hours and nothing has happened yet.
You know, stakeouts can take a whole lot longer, and you know that. Anyway, odds are we may not even see this joker tonight if he hears that girl died.
Well, we took this assignment, so we've got to see it through.
Yeah, well, it seems to me that you took this assignment under false pretenses. I mean, I bet you didn't even tell the chief that you'd been in the hospital, did you?
Of course I didn't. Why should I? I wasn't supposed to be there in the first place.
Well, Steve told me that you were supposed to go see Doc Kavanaugh, only you decided not to.
Doesn't that prove I'm feeling better?
What is this thing about proving stuff? Why do you have to always want to prove something? That's why you took this case, isn't it? So that you could prove to Chief Mallory that you could handle anything he threw at you.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Tell him, I'm sorry, Chief Mallory, I'm not feeling very well this evening.
Yes, as a matter of fact. That would have been a lot smarter than what you did.
Oh, yeah, great. Right after he lifts my suspension, I tell him that I can't handle an assignment.
It's a damned important assignment at that.
All right, look, I know the assignment is important, but don't you see that that's even all the more reason, Deborah?
Meaning that I can't handle the job? Is that it?
No, that's not what I mean. Look, I'm only thinking about you, Red.
Good friend, you know that? Best I've ever had.
Yeah, well, I kind of like you too.
Pardon me, miss. Is this man annoying you?
No, not at all.
Are you sure? Why don't you leave the lady alone, huh?
Didn't you hear what the lady said? It's okay. We know each other.
Is he forcing you to say that?
No, it's true. I'm all right.
Well, this park isn't a very safe place at night, especially for young women. Didn't you know that?
Excuse me. I mean, we appreciate your concern, but it's okay. You want to move on?
Well, how do I know you're not concealing a knife or a gun and threatening this woman? Or maybe I should find a park policeman, let him find out, huh?
Buddy, I happen to be a policeman, and so is the lady, for that matter. So would you just shove off, okay?
I see. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
okay.
All right, Calvin. Stop bothering me.
Yeah,
I'll go back to your
okay,
station.
lady. You insist.
Oh, Deborah, honey, you should have let me
No,
help
no,
with
you just
that.
sit right down and relax.
Well, I think you should be in bed. Now, you were almost falling asleep at the dinner table.
Well, I think this coffee will help to wake me up.
Well, I'm not sure I approve of that, you know.
Hmm?
I don't like the idea that you're having trouble sleeping. Have you talked to your obstetrician about it?
Listen, Mother, it has only happened once, and I'm really not worried about it.
Well, just the same, I've never heard of insomnia being a symptom of pregnancy.
Well, it may be in a couple of weeks when the baby starts kicking.
No, seriously, darling, have you talked to your OB about it?
Margot, I told you just the other day that I had seen Dr. Buckley, and she said everything was going perfectly.
Yes, but that was before you started with the dreams. She tell you about those?
Oh, yes, she did. As a matter of fact, I was rather anxious to find out if you'd had any more. I'm rather curious to find out what's in that mysterious box.
Sorry, no dreams last night.
And I can tell you why she didn't have the dreams. She was up all night reading one of those silly historical novels.
Well, and that was because I was not sleeping. Which is because when I came home from work last night, I took rather a long nap.
There, you see, you know what you're doing, darling. You're turning your sleeping habits all topsy-turvy, and that's no good. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to finish this coffee, and I'm going to get out of here.
Margaret, don't be silly. It's early yet, isn't it?
No, hang on a second.
Early is when you should be in bed.
No, Margot, hang on. I wanted to talk to you about something.
About what?
Well, actually, it's something that I wanted to give you.
Oh, really? Well, I know Christmas is just around the corner, but a present so early.
Oh, it's not a present, and you know what it is. It's a partial repayment for the loan you made us.
$12,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know you're not going to let me raise any objection.
You're
to
absolutely
this.
right. The money is yours, and I insist you take it.
All right. I know enough not to argue, and I also know how to say thank you, which I'm going to do. Mwah. Thank you.
I think I'm going to cry.
Oh.
Well, I think you ought to go to bed, honey. I think your mom gave you some good advice.
I'll tell you, to be perfectly honest, if I don't go to bed right now, I'm going to fall asleep right here on the couch.
Yes, well, you do as your mummy says and get upstairs
I
to
don't
bed.
believe
I know
this
you're going to have
mess.
a nice sleep, and if you dream, be sure to tell me how it turns out.
I will, I promise. I'll see you in a little
Okay,
bit.
baby. I'll get
Good
your mom's
night.
coat.
Oops.
Here you go, Margot.
Draper, thank you. There is something I wanted to say to you about this money.
Yes?
As you know, Christmas is just around the corner.
No, wait a second. If you think you're going to turn right around and give me that money as a Christmas gift, you're absolutely wrong.
Well, I wasn't thinking of that. Actually, I was thinking of something else. Or rather, someone else.
Who?
Darling, the baby, I wanted to find out I wanted to find out if you would raise any great objection to my putting this money in a trust fund for him or her, or whatever the case may be.
Oh, hold on. Now, are you sure this isn't just a way to give back the money I returned?
Now, darling, after all, this is my grandchild, as hard as it is for me to say. It's my one and only grandchild, and you can call it whatever you want to call it. But it is the child who will benefit. Now, surely you're not going to object to the child having this kind of security, are you?
You're absolutely right, Margot. There's no way I could refuse a gift from my child. And she's going to be a person in her own right, and she's entitled to a trust fund or whatever else someone wants to give her.
Draper, I'm so glad you understand that.
Look, Margot, sit down for a moment, all right?
Oh, what?
I've never objected to money. I think money is terrific. I've only objected to the way I got that $35,000.
I know that.
But I'm not going to rehash any old arguments, and I'm not going to object to my daughter having $12,000 in the bank.
Oh, good. Only make that $35,000 because when you give me the rest of the money, it is going right into the trust fund. Well, it seems as though you and I are establishing this trust fund together, aren't we?
And you know, when she's ready to go to college, with interest rates being what they are, that's going to be a lot of money for her.
Draper, you keep insisting on referring to the baby as her, she. Are you absolutely sure that it's going to be a girl?
Well, I'm positive. I mean, I want a daughter. And you know that the baby April gave birth to in the dream was a girl.
I know that. I have no objections to that part of it. What I did object to was that mysterious man in her hospital room.
Oh, Margot, look, don't worry. Dreams are funny.
Yeah, I know, but they also can be symbolic. I mean, I don't know anything about dream analysis or any of that stuff, but I know they reflect people's anxieties and things like that.
Oh, I mean, April does have a lot of anxiety about the baby. I mean, we did lose our first child.
Yes, I know. Yet on the outside, she seems so calm and optimistic about this. I know she's worried underneath.
Well, you know, I think that's what the dream means. Now, I thought about it, and I think that April sees herself as having the baby, but then there's this ominous shadow in the background in the form of this man, but don't ask me why.
And what about the present?
I have no idea what that means.
Oh, well, she said it wasn't threatening in any way.
And, you know, maybe now that she didn't have it last night, maybe this whole dream business is gone.
Oh, no. That means we're never going to find out what's inside that box.
You know, I don't think I want to know what was in that box. All I do want is for April to have a safe delivery with absolutely no problems.
You're really looking forward to this, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. We've both been looking forward to it for a long time. You know, for a while we were afraid we could never have anything like this.
Well, this shows. Some dreams do come true, don't they?
Draper, is that you?
Yes, April, I'm here.
The flowers are beautiful.
Not as beautiful as you are. Talking about beautiful, have you seen our daughter?
That's funny. That's the same thing you said the last time. I mean, the last time you were here.
Did I?
I don't know. Maybe I dreamt it. I've been having a very strange dream lately. Did I tell you about it?
Yes, April, you told me. But this couldn't be a dream. Your dreams always come true.
No, Draper, that was before. That doesn't happen to me anymore. Now I only have ordinary dreams.
Do you think this dream is ordinary?
Draper, listen, that's the train. I told you about the train. Listen. There isn't any train station around here. I know that. How do you explain it? What do you think it means? Draper, what do you... You again. What are you doing here? Why do you keep coming here and then leaving? What do you want? Oh, the gift. I forgot about the gift. You remembered. If I take it from you, will I understand all of this? The last time you left before I opened it. Please don't go. It's a bracelet. Oh, it's lovely. But what does it mean? Who are you? Why are you giving me this present? What does all this mean?
Look, man, would you please get lost? We are not out here for our health, you know?
Oh, sorry, I just wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Yeah, well, if I should need anything, I'll call a cop.
Sure you must be the youngest police chief in the country, and surely the best looking. I haven't been to Monticello for ages, but it must be much more livable than it used to be, especially for someone in your position. A chief's job is half political, Daddy says. So that must mean you're hobnobbing with the better element instead of all the low-rent types you used to hang around with. But I'll see for myself in a few weeks, or didn't I tell you that I was coming to Monticello? Till then, Ivy. Hello, this is Mallory. Let me speak to Guthrie, please. You did what? If you see him again tonight, you tell him I want him in my office. And I mean the minute he comes back. Do you hear me?
Calvin, what happened? Come here. What happened? Oh, man, I think I've been pistol whipped. Oh, Still alive.
Who hit you? Did you see him?
Some guy in a three-piece suit. What a sucker trick he pulled on me.
Was it the guy we're looking for?
I don't know. It could have been him. You know, I even showed him my badge.
Calvin, where's Deborah?
She's on the bench waiting for me to back her up.
Hey, Deborah.
Hello there. Once again, officer.
What are you doing back here?
Well, I was just about at the park exit, but I felt so guilty about our little case of mistaken identity that I figured I had to come back here and apologize to you and your partner, or otherwise I wouldn't get a wink of sleep all night.
Well, don't worry about it.
It was an honest mistake.
I'm sure it was.
Most people try not to get involved. Most people mind their own business. I try to be a good citizen, huh?
Well, I'll tell you what, the best thing you can do right now is just move along and let us do our job.
Listen, can I run across the street to the diner, get you and your partner a cup of coffee? It's awful cold out here.
Just go, please.
Sure. Hey, I hope you catch that guy. Well, I mean, I'd hate to see a crazy man getting his hands on a pretty lady like you.
Well, I have my guardian angel. I'll be all right.
Sure. You know what I'll bet? I'll bet that the dude you're looking for is one of those responsible, well-dressed types. You can never judge a book by its cover.
You know what? I think I will take you up on that coffee. In fact, I think I'll find out what my partner likes to drink.
Keep your mouth shut. You scream once. It'll be the last sound you ever make. Don't be a hero. Well, you never snatched a lady's purse before. Especially one with a cop's revolver in it.
Where's my partner? What did you do with him?
You're worried about the wrong person.
What do you want from me?
Well, even though it's a romantic night, I don't like to be in a park here. Or one of your cop friends might come along and ruin our little party. Get a sweet thing. We're going places.
Just what do you mean by ignoring a direct order and going to that stakeout?
I wish I'd gotten there a little sooner. Maybe I could have prevented what happened. You didn't hear about it yet, have you?
What are you talking about? What happened?
When I got to the park, I damn near tripped over Calvin. I found him under some bushes, unconscious. Somebody jumped him from behind and knocked him out.
Is he all right?
Well, Dr. Kavanaugh's looking at him right now. He's down in the infirmary.
All right, I'm going to see him right now. Where's Saxon?
Deborah's missing.
Missing?
There's not a trace of her anywhere in the park. Apparently, after the guy knocked Calvin out, he overpowered her and dragged her off to God knows where.
Did you call Anderson? Is there a search team in the
They're
park?
already on the way. What, do you still think it's such a wonderful idea, sending Deborah out there tonight?
I told you, Guthrie, she volunteered for this assignment.
And she's trying to prove to you that she's a good cop, and you were wrong by suspending her.
Well, isn't that what you've been telling me?
I've been telling you that she's sick. She probably couldn't even defend herself.
We'll talk about this later. Right now, I want to see Stoner.
way my head feels, I'm gonna have to order hats 2 sizes larger from now on.
Actually, the injury's not too serious, Calvin.
Well, that's good. I gotta feel better in a couple of days. I'm getting married next week.
Well, by the time you march down the aisle, you'll have nothing to remember this evening by except a slightly sore spot in the side of your head.
I'm glad to hear it. If I had had to tell Star we were gonna postpone the wedding, I really would need medical attention.
Actually, you're pretty lucky. Whatever that man used to hit you with must have been fairly small, fairly light, just stunned you. I can't even find any evidence of either mild concussion.
So what should I do? Take 2 aspirin and call you tomorrow?
Actually, I would like you to stay in the infirmary overnight, just to keep an eye on you.
No, I've got to go back to that park and find Deborah. I mean, I'm responsible for what happened
Why
to
are you
her.
responsible? You don't have eyes in the back of your head.
But look, she was dependent on me. I let my guard down for a minute, and look what happened.
How you doing, Calvin?
I will live.
How is he, Doc?
Calvin's assessment is correct. After a good night's rest, he'll be fine.
Calvin, tell the chief what happened tonight.
You tell me anything that's going to help us find her.
Well, I guess for starters, I could give you a description of the guy. He's about 6 feet tall, dark brown hair, about 160, 165 pounds,
But he said you were
wiry
hit from
type.
behind the head. How could you get a good look at him?
Well, we were getting to be good buddies when he clobbered me.
What are you talking about?
Earlier in the evening, Deborah and I were sitting on the bench having a conversation, and this guy came along. He asked her if I was molesting her and offered to defend her.
Maybe he thought somebody was trying to cut in on his territory.
Yeah, well, he just looked the safe type. He was all clean cut. He just didn't look crazy.
All right, then what happened?
I told him that we were police officers and that he should move along. I showed him my badge and he left.
He came back?
Yeah, I was watching Deborah from what I thought was a safe distance, and that's when he popped up and hit me.
This seems to be a departure from his previous MO. He's always picked on victims who are walking alone.
Deborah's a very good-looking woman. Maybe he thought it was worth the risk.
Listen, I've seen the way this guy has brutalized some of his victims. We're dealing with an unstable personality.
Yeah, well, he's already beat one woman to death. We gotta find Deborah before he hurts her.
Were you aware that Detective Saxon wasn't feeling up to par?
Well, I knew that she hadn't been too well lately. She did tell me that she was feeling fine tonight.
Calvin, do you really believe that?
Oh, I'm sure she said it just so she could go on that detail tonight. I mean, I watched her sitting on that bench. She was pale. She had chills all night long. I even suggested she call it quits, but she was determined to tough it out.
Yeah, well, she was probably too weak to struggle.
All right. I'm going to put a citywide alert out. Every patrol car is going to make finding Saxon their #1 priority. If anybody needs me, I'll be in my office.
Chief seems pretty concerned.
Yeah, well, he ought to be. One of his best officers could be in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, well, if Mallory had shown more concern tonight before the assignment, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Well, look, just, keep a positive outlook. We got to remember Deborah is a pretty tough lady.
Calvin, Deborah's out there. She's sick. She's in the hands of some madman. What do you think is going to happen to her?
Got real lucky tonight. Finding this spot so close to the park. Won't be long now, honey. I can't wait. How about you? Try and relax. Just gonna take a little ride in the country. When we get out there, we're gonna have a whole lot of fun.
Hey, I thought when you excused yourself and came upstairs, I'd find you fast asleep.
Well, I did sleep. I dozed off for a while.
Oh, glad to hear that. Think you'll have any trouble getting back?
Nope, not a bit. I haven't felt this relaxed in days.
Good.
While you and Margot were downstairs, my falling asleep was the best thing I could have done. Had a dream.
The one in the hospital.
Mm-hmm. Same one. This one had a little addition, though.
You found out what was in the box.
Yeah, I did.
Come on, I want to hear. What?
Oh, you want to
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Dream was the same as it had been. I was in the same hospital room, had just given birth to the same beautiful baby girl.
April, we know that. What was in the box?
Don't rush me. Heard the same train whistle. I turned around and I saw the same strange man. I even put up an argument with him this time, but he didn't say anything to me. He just stood there holding the box. Well, this time I took it and I opened it and I took out what was inside.
April, this suspense is unbearable.
I know. It was a silver bracelet.
That's all?
Mm-hmm.
And you were so afraid. You thought it was going to be something unpleasant.
Yeah. It's a very lovely silver bracelet.
Hmm.
But I'll tell you, I don't remember feeling happy about it.
Well, maybe it was a subconscious thought. Maybe you want somebody to buy you a silver bracelet for Christmas.
No, I don't.
Well, how do you know? It was a subconscious thought.
Because I happen to know that I don't want any such gift.
Well, I'm glad, because I've bought all your presents, and there's nothing silver in the whole lot of them.
No silver?
No.
It's all right. You know it doesn't matter to me in the least what you get me. Oh, Draper, I have everything I could ever possibly want.
Oh. Well, does that mean I can take all the presents back?
You better not. Oh, boy. I'll tell you. You know, ever since I was a little girl, all I ever wanted for a present was someone to love me in return.
And do you know how much I love you?
Mm-hmm. And I also know that I am married to the most wonderful man in the world. And he happens to be the best present I could ever get.
Yeah, come on, I didn't do too badly in this deal myself.
No, you didn't. Speaking of presents, I can't wait till Christmas. I hope you like all the presents I got you.
I'm sure I'm gonna love them.
You'll have to wait, though, for the best present. About 5 months or so. She's coming special delivery.
And she is one gift that you and I can cherish for a lifetime.
Yeah. You know, we are going to be the proudest parents of the most beautiful baby girl God has ever created.
Well, you know, I hope that part of the dream comes true. But if we happen to have a little baby boy, you're not going to hear any complaints from me.
No, it doesn't matter.
You know, maybe, just maybe, that is what you want. You know, a sterling silver bracelet with a baby's birthday inscribed on it.
No, Draper, promise me you won't do anything like that.
Why not?
Because if you do, it'll make it seem as though I really am predicting things that are...
Okay, I promise. I won't buy you anything that will upset you.
Thanks. Draper, you know, it just occurred to me, when I go into the hospital to have the baby, I'll get one of those identification bracelets.
Yeah. Every patient gets one of those.
And so will the baby have one when she's born. I'll bet that's it. I mean, it has to be the bracelet in the dream.
There sure is a connection with the hospital.
Why is it silver, then?
Silver. Ah. You want to make sure that our baby has nothing but the very best.
Do you mean that? Do you really think that's what the significance is?
Oh, April. Honey, I don't know. I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
You know, I was just thinking that I think I'd like to give Margot a call.
No, April, what's so important that it can't wait till morning?
I just want to let her know about the dream and that I finally figured out what was in the box. Look, I will just call her at her private line at work. She said she had to go there. If she doesn't answer, I'll wait till tomorrow morning.
Yes, hello?
Hello, Margot, it's April. I'm glad I caught you in.
Darling, you should be asleep. What are you calling at this hour for? Are you all right?
Everything is fine. That's why I called.
Oh, just hearing your voice on the phone gave me a bit of a start. What's up, darling?
Well, look, I just wanted to call you and let you know that while you and Draper were downstairs talking, I was up here sleeping and dreaming.
Was it the same dream all over again?
That's right. This time I got to find out what was in the box, though.
Come on, tell me what was inside.
Silver bracelet.
Silver? That doesn't sound too sinister.
No, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm not as anxious about the dream anymore.
There, you see. Thank you. There was nothing to worry about after all.
Oh, mother knows best, huh?
Yeah, something like that. Oh, I'm glad you called, darling. I must say I feel a little relieved myself.
Well, look, I'll let you get back to work, but do me a favor and promise me you won't stay there much later.
Well, if I do, I promise you I'll sleep in the morning, so you better prepare to be acting station manager tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. See you then. Bye-bye. How did that take very long?
You know, when you came upstairs to go to sleep and Margot and I were downstairs, we talked about something very important.
Oh, let me guess. Does it have anything to do with a check for $12,000, partial repayment for a house loan?
Yeah. She wants to reinvest that money, the whole $35,000, for the baby. She wants to set up a trust fund for her.
Are you kidding? Draper, I don't believe it. That's very generous of Margot.
At first, I thought it was a dodge, just a way of her, not accepting the money we gave her.
Well, it is her grandchild.
But you know what really impressed me? I mean, the fact that she was so upfront about it. I mean, she came to me and she said, "Would you mind if I use the money for this purpose?"
Well, you know, she did promise not to do anything behind your back anymore. Well, what'd you tell her?
I said that I had no objections.
You did?
I mean, the only one that's going to benefit is the baby. So.
Oh, Draper, I think that's the best solution. Everybody's happy now.
You know, when the baby goes to college, it's going to be quite a head start. I mean, in 18 years, who knows what college costs are going to be?
Oh, Draper, I knew you two would get along, that you'd find something in common, and that happens to be the baby. Oh, I'll tell you. Oh, I feel so good inside. You and Margot are finally seeing eye to eye, and a couple of months, I am going to be a mother. And I'll tell you, we are going to have the best, happiest family anybody's ever known.
Oh, hey, I forgot to tell you this morning.
What?
I looked up that dream in a dream book. And that whistle means that there's a journey involved.
Oh, really? Well, what does the man mean?
Man. Oh. Well, the man must be the conductor of the train.
Oh, I see. You think maybe it means that we might go on a honeymoon after all? Possibility?
Here's a copy of tonight's airstrip for your file.
Oh, thank you. Show went very well tonight, even though the news wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't. Margot, look, I just talked to Miles. He's at police headquarters. Something's happened. Could have been our lead story if we'd known about it in time.
Well, tell me what's happened.
Deborah Saxon has disappeared. There is an intensive police search out for her right now.
Disappeared how?
She had volunteered to pose as a decoy to find that man that was assaulting women in Monticello Park.
Well, so what went wrong?
Calvin Stoner was being her backup, and this maniac put him out of commission, and then by the time Steve found Calvin, Deborah was nowhere to be found.
I want every car that's rolling on the lookout for Deborah Saxon. The minute you hear anything, I want to know about it.
Well, any word?
Search team in the park hasn't found anything, except her purse, minus her service revolver.
Well, they've got an awful lot of ground to cover. And it is dark.
Well, we may still find her there, but I'm sure he's long gone.
Wait, but how do you know that?
I got a call from the 4th precinct. Seems like a young couple was almost run down by a station wagon, leaving the park, going west on Decatur. The description they gave of the driver fits the one Calvin gave.
did they see anyone else in the car?
No.
Maybe he dropped her off and left her in the park and then took off.
Yeah, he could still have Deborah with him, though. He might have hidden her on the floor between the front and the rear seats. He might have put her in the back, covered her with a blanket.
We've got to find that station wagon.
We're looking, Guthrie, but they could be anywhere. There are hundreds of unlit back roads outside the city where they might have gone.
I'd like to get my hands on it. No. All I want is to find Deborah alive.
He hasn't treated his other victims very well. This time he knows he's abducted a cop. Let's face it. If we find her in the woods, she probably won't be.
Well, here we are, baby. Told you it wouldn't take too long.
Statewide search for the missing Deborah Saxon, Monticello's first woman police detective, continues unabated, with several police departments, including the state troopers, joining the search. With a special report on the situation, here's WMON newscaster Nicole Drake at Monticello Police Headquarters.
Nothing to report. Those three grim words were repeated over and over again throughout the night, here in the Tactical Command Room at Monticello's Police Headquarters. Dozens of police officers, many of them working overtime on a voluntary basis, awaited word from an estimated 500 police officers and auxiliary police scouring the woods of Graham County. Deborah Saxon was abducted last night during the course of a police action designed to catch the man who assaulted 3 women in the past week. The search is concentrated in the North Hills area because of a report that a station wagon, apparently answering the description of the vehicle seen leaving Monticello Park at the time of the abduction, was spotted heading north on Lincoln Wood Road. But despite the narrowed focus of the search, the same discouraging words have been heard over and over again. Nothing to report.
All you wanted to do was scare the lady, right? Okay, so you got what you wanted. I think it was worth $1,000.
Young man, you promised me a good deal more than that. You said your friend would, well, you know, that he would violate that cheap little tart. Teach her a lesson.
Look, you don't understand. She was sick. I mean, she has some kind of disease or something.
Nonsense. She isn't sick at all. She fooled him. You should have done this yourself instead of getting your friend.
Look, lady, I couldn't do it myself. Saxon knows me. Look, I ain't getting a penny out of this deal myself. My friend gets the whole grand. All I wanted was the satisfaction.
Well, I don't know that I'm satisfied. Where is she now?
He dumped her.
He did what?
He dumped her. In the woods. Hey, maybe she'll never get back.
You fool! We wanted to scare her, not kill her.
Hey, look, lady, this whole thing wasn't my idea.
If she dies, it'll be murder. Don't you realize that?
Murder?
Ironically, there was another attempted assault on a woman in Monticello Park last night.
leading police to speculate about whether or not they were after one criminal or two. But at the moment, the main point of speculation among Monticello's law enforcement officers is, where is Detective Deborah Saxon? And is she still alive?
Steve, we have got to cut out this cruising around, man. It is not getting us anywhere except maybe to the hospital.
What hospital?
The one we're going to end up in when you drive us off the road into one of these trees.
Hey, you want to drive for a while? Get behind the wheel, all right?
Who, me? Man, my eyes are so tired from staring through this windshield looking for this tan station wagon for the last couple of hours. And another thing, I'm beginning to think we're going around in circles. I swear we passed that billboard 3 times already.
Calvin, I have no idea where to drive anymore. What do you want me to do? Pull the car off to the side of the road and get out on foot and walk into the woods?
Oh, terrific. That's just what we need. Get lost in the woods and freeze to death. And we'll never find out we get ourselves killed out there.
All right. I'll pull up at the next diner. We'll get out and have some breakfast and coffee.
Sounds fine to me.
Check in with the chief.
Chief said he'd call if there was any word.
Maybe he forgot. Car 3 to control. Car 3 to control. Come in.
This control, Car 3. What have you got, Guthrie?
Is this the chief?
Yeah, this is me. What have you got?
Don't have anything. Just calling in to see if you had anything.
I told you I'd let you know. Anyway, there's nothing. Now, I've got 8 cars committed to the search, and there's 50 others involved in this, but nobody spotted the vehicle.
Look, are you sure it's the right one? I mean, we could be chasing after the wrong guy.
I'm more positive than ever now. I got a report about a stolen station wagon that fits this description perfectly, even down to the 3 known license plate numbers. It was hot wired about 3 blocks from Monticello Park. Hold on a second. Just got a wire coming in. You may be interested in this. It's about the guy who committed the assault at Monticello Park the other night.
That's not the guy we're after.
No, the second one. Seems the woman who was attacked was able to put a make on him. She picked his mugshot from out of our files. His name is Walston. He's a known sex offender. Now, here's something. He was picked up about an hour ago at his home address.
Great. 1 down, 1 to go.
Now, here's something else. He not only confessed to the 4 attacks in the park, but to a few others we didn't know anything about.
All 4, but nothing to do with Deborah.
No, but he is the man we were looking for in the first place.
Yeah, well, what about the guy who clobbered me and took Deborah?
Well, he's an unknown quantity stoner, but that doesn't make him any less dangerous.
Chief, Calvin and I are going to stop at a diner and get some coffee. We'll let you know when we're back in.
Okay, I'll be here, Steve. 10-4.
10-4.
Well, now, how about that?
How about what?
He called you Steve.
You've been hearing something for the past 2 hours.
No, I really mean it. I heard something moving over there.
No, I'm with you on this, Mike. There's no sense in taking this to court, so when you get done downstairs, why don't you come on up and we'll settle it. Oh, I will be here through lunch. Come in.
I'm heading on out, boss. See you about 2 days.
Hey! Excuse me, Mike. I just saw something that defies description. I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Did you call me?
Come here.
Well, okay. I have trouble hearing you with the hat on.
Yeah.
Look, don't give me too long, will you? This thing weighs a ton. It feels like 110 degrees in here.
What the... you going to a masquerade in the Yukon? What?
No. Oh, the outfit? No. Oh, no. I'm heading up north to join a search party.
Search party?
Yeah, for Deborah. Didn't you hear?
Yeah.
Deborah's been kidnapped taken off in the woods by some crazy maniac.
Oh, a crazy maniac?
Yeah. Well, you see, I figure it's cold up there, and it's sure is warm in here. In fact, breaking out in a sweat right now, so I gotta go, all right?
Cliff, take the coat off.
Oh. Are you worried about my caseload, huh? Well, don't. Look, I gave all the important matters over to Gil Holston, huh? Hey, it's okay. He owes me a couple favors since I fixed him up with Valerie, you know? And I got to stay on the Morgan case, so I don't have to be in court until next week. And you promised me a couple days off for handling all the business in the office while you're out campaigning, you know? So I got to go. Look, it's real hot in here, all right?
Take the coat off. Then you'll be cooler.
Okay, but can't take too long, you know? It's a long drive out there, and I want to have some daylight so that I can pick up the trail.
Can't believe that you are serious about going tramping around in the woods.
You bet I'm serious. Hey, I heard this beautiful newswoman say that they got 500 guys looking for her. Well, they need me. You see, they got over 1,000 square miles of woods to search.
The hat, you want to take that off, too?
Oh, yeah. I think it's cute.
It's adorable.
Well, I got all the stuff at the sporting goods store around the corner, you know. I figured it won't go to waste, though, because after I find Scarlett, I think I might take up hunting as a hobby.
You're not going.
What do you mean I'm not going?
I mean you're not going, that's what I mean.
Hey, I've got to go. Hey, I can't sit here while Scarlett's out there suffering. She needs me. Just think how grateful she'll be if I'm the one that finds her.
Oh, I'm sure she would be very grateful, and believe me, I'd like to see her rescued as much as you.
Well, then let me go, all right, and do my job.
Your job is here. You're not going to do anybody any good getting yourself lost up in the woods.
Hey, lost. You don't know who you're talking to. I used to be a scout.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, my brother was. Well, you know, that sort of thing runs in the family, you know? Hey, you could leave me out in the deepest, darkest woods blindfolded, and I'd do okay.
Don't tempt me.
How do you work this stuff? Yeah, I'm good at that stuff. Right down to rubbing two sticks together to make a fire.
Cliff, no offense, but I don't think you could make a fire rubbing two matches together, so why don't you just...
Oh, yeah? Look at this.
What, pray tell, is that?
That is a genuine survival knife. You want to see? It's got 20 blades. Look. See? Look. Pair of scissors for cutting up pieces of paper in the wilderness, and it's got a corkscrew, and it's got... here. You know what that is?
I give up.
That is a tool especially designed to take pebbles out of horses' hooves.
Very useful. Never know when you're going to run into a horse with a pebble in its hoof. Why don't you just forget this rescue operation?
Because this rescue operation, it
All right,
deals
do I
with
have
Scarlett.
to make this an official order? If that's the way you want to play it, that's the way we'll do it.
You don't think I'm serious, do you? That fits. Scarlett doesn't think I'm serious either. Okay, boss. I won't go. If they don't find Deborah. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Carr.
Morning, Mr. Nelson. Going hunting?
No. Hunting season just ended.
Don't ask. All right, you get this.
Thanks, Logan. No, it doesn't sound good. The fact that she's been missing all this time with no word.
You haven't heard the whole story. I was talking to Derek just before you got here, and he said...
Derek?
Chief Mallory, the new police chief.
Oh, yes. Just not used to the name yet.
Yeah. Anyway, he says they've just arrested a man in connection with the very case that Deborah Saxon was investigating. He's an habitual sex offender of some sort named Walston. Now, they're certain that he is the man that they were chasing in Monticello Park that night.
But that doesn't change the situation for Deborah, does it?
No, unfortunately it doesn't. That's what Cliff was all dressed up for. He wants to go up to Graham County and join the search party. And I don't blame him, really. I'd like to be there myself, but...
I know how you feel, but it wouldn't be too practical.
No, it wouldn't. Well, that does it for our business, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how are you and Nancy doing? I haven't seen Nancy in an age. How is she?
Fine, I think. I hope she's not in any trouble this morning.
Trouble? What are you talking about?
Logan, I think I could use your professional opinion on something.
Wow, that's a switch. I mean, I'm the one who usually comes to you.
Well, frankly, if Bill Marceau were still at headquarters, I know he could give me the help I need with the kind of discretion I need, too.
Discretion? What are you, in some kind of a jam?
You might call it a dilemma. Logan, Nancy's doing a feature for the paper, something she hopes to turn into a series.
Uh-huh.
It involves getting biographical information directly from a criminal source.
You mean a convict?
No. Someone who's walking the streets free to commit his crimes. In this case, a pusher.
I see.
I know it's been done before. Getting a criminal to tell all in print or on TV with the promise of immunity, of course.
Yeah, it's usually quite an ego trip for him.
Oh, yes. And, of course, the paper's willing to pay hard cash for the right story.
Mike, you sure you should be telling me all this? I mean, there's still a lot of question as to how far a reporter can go in protecting his or her sources. Now, if Nancy has developed something juicy against this guy, and I assume that there already is a guy, right?
Oh, yeah. She's found someone. Matter of fact, the contact was made through a police informant. But I don't know who it is.
She won't tell you?
No, but I do know where she's meeting him, and that's my dilemma. Logan, I don't like what she's doing. And I wouldn't try to forbid her from doing it because she's a professional capable of making her own decisions. But she's also my wife, and frankly, I'm concerned about her safety.
Let me guess. You're thinking about providing a little protection for Nancy without her knowing about it.
It has crossed my mind. But as I said, I don't know how to approach Chief Mallory since I don't even know the man.
And the question is, should you do it at all?
Yes, that's the question.
Can I get you some more coffee?
No, thank you.
Didn't have a bit of trouble recognizing you, Mrs. Carr. Hey, why do you look so familiar? Huh?
We've met before in Chief Mallory's office.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so that's how you knew about me, huh? Yeah. Well, I would have known you anyway. You look like a Mrs. Nancy Carr.
Oh. I think I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Yeah, well, I think you should. So what's the problem? No, wait, don't tell me. I want to guess. Your doctor gave you this prescription you really need, only it ran out and the doctor left town. Am I right?
No, you're not right.
No? Oh, well, then you tell me. I love to hear stories.
Well, that's just what I'm after.
Hey, listen now, you want something to drink? I feel kind of funny drinking alone.
All right, another cup of coffee, thanks.
Hey, Karen.
Yeah?
Coffee for the lady. Everybody to their own poison, right? That's right. And what's yours exactly? I hope it's pharmaceutical, lady, because I don't handle nothing else. No hard stuff, you understand?
I was told that you deal strictly with prescription medicines.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I shouldn't be dealing with nothing right now, you know. Some people are breathing down my neck, but money's getting kind of tight, so...
So, Benny, Look, may I call you that?
Yeah, anything you say, lady.
Okay. I have an offer to make to you, a monetary offer, but it's not medicine I want to buy.
Yeah, what do you want?
I want some information. Believe me, it's much less risky working with me because there won't have to be any kind of, transaction. All you have to do is talk.
Talk? About what?
About yourself. About your life. Why you do
Now, wait a
what
minute,
you do.
lady. Let me tell
Look,
you one
I'm not
thing
with
right
the
now.
police. Listen, didn't they tell you I have nothing to do with the police at all? I'm a newspaper reporter, and Benny, I think you have a story to tell.
Are you crazy? Are you asking me to tell the whole world about my business?
I just want you to tell your side of the story. Your side, Benny. Your name will never be used.
I mean, I won't get in any trouble.
None. No trouble at all. Look, and you'll be protected from anything you tell me.
I don't know. It sounds kind of fishy to me. How do I know this isn't some kind of police trick? I'm under indictment already.
Yes, I do know that. I know that. But I promise you, and my paper promises you, that nothing you tell me will be used in that case.
Absolutely nothing. Of course, I can't guarantee that you'll win that case. You know, the two aren't related. You have to understand that.
Yeah, sure, I understand. You know something? I always did want to tell my life story. Hey, maybe they'll make a movie, huh? Mrs. Carr, I think you got yourself a deal.
Careful the way you're holding onto that cup. You're liable to crush it.
Can't believe this is happening. 50 miles away from headquarters, and we're trying to find Deborah. We have no idea whether she's dead or alive.
She is alive, okay? Alive until proven otherwise. Let's just hold on to that thought. Huh?
Yeah, right, okay. She was sick. That's the only way that guy could overpower her.
I don't know. I was in the best of health, and it didn't seem to do me any good.
I still think there was something I could do. Something to prevent this. I don't know. Maybe if I'd have kept in touch with her. If I'd only known she was going from the hospital to headquarters on this
Look,
assignment.
there is nothing you could have done to stop her. Just nothing.
Yeah, you're right. She is kind of stubborn, isn't she? She always knows what she wants.
Oh, I don't know. I've known a couple of times when she didn't know what she wanted, or should I say who she wanted.
She still doesn't know who she wants.
Oh, the heck she doesn't. She didn't go out to California with Owen Madison, did she? And you know why? Because of you. You are number one.
God, I love her.
Well, I hope you didn't think that was going to come as any kind of a surprise.
Calvin, I love her so much. I get this pain right here, right in the middle of my stomach, you know?
What the hell have I been thinking about? I've been sitting here watching this car for 5 minutes and it never even dawned on me.
What did
There is a tan station wagon parked outside across the road.
Hey, Calvin, listen.
Hey! I knew those guys were bums the minute they walked in here. To beat me out of a lousy cup of coffee.
Hey, Steve, get a load of that license.
Yeah, it's the same first three numbers.
Registered to Eddie DeBro.
Hey, Calvin, come here.
It's been hot-wired. Must be stolen.
What?
I heard it again.
Yeah, that time so did I.
There it is.
Oh my God. You shot a woman.